and everyone's freaked out. I found Smurfette with a gun. I was like, I'm impressed.
I'm like, did you do that?
I Googled
she was
it.
even in a bikini.
I put in
there's
Mean
a website
Smurf.
for seriously everything.
Mean Smurf.
Mean Smurf, and it was not filtered, so I saw lots of other things.
Oh, God.
So we're back to the show with an amazing group of people who are working on this amazing fan film series. Because we want to talk about fan films and their projects specifically and how it's going to be impacted with changes that are coming to the fan film industry. So I am joined by...
Mika.
Shannon, Claire.
Cayman.
Not me, I'm always here.
We should have, like, before the show, we were like, hey!
It's like Mickey Mouse Club.
So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
We are making a fan film web series based off of Tim Drake as Robin. We're covering his adventures with Batman and Nightwing and Oracle and Stephanie Brown as Spoiler. We have a lot of really cool villains like the Clue Master, along with some more popular Batman villains as well. But yeah.
And Hatter as well.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Hatter.
He's all excited. Wait, don't
He's
forget
amazing.
Our Mad Hatter's so creepy.
He's phenomenal. Very creepy guy. Very creepy.
Nicest guy in the world in reality.
But the acting was,
Yeah.
double thumbs up.
Yeah, you'll watch the episode after we get done here, but I've watched it, and he's pretty creepy. Like, he's got a white pedo van. He's got, like, okay, but that's even worse, that it's his van, and he fits that role so
we went
well.
to rent one, and he was like, I have one. And we were like, of course you do. Of course you do.
And he has a perfect head turn for it. There's a shot in there where, you see the side of his face, and it looks straight out of the comics, and he turns, and it's perfect. Like, he's
I got
dead
free
on it.
candy.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, I would fall for that any day, you know?
Who's not going to go in a van with free candy? I
That's
mean,
how you make friends.
Cam,
That is how you
would
make
you go in a
friends.
van with free candy?
Depends on what the candy was.
Oh, she's a candy connoisseur.
Chico sticks, right?
She's
like-
Have you ever had like
Yeah.
a Chico stick before? It's like peanut butter and
Those things are
like,
so gross.
Peanut butter, I would probably
What
like
is
it.
wrong with
It's
you?
that or
Really
candy
good.
cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
Good
those are my favorite. The
choice,
sugary
good
ones.
choice.
No,
I'm
you
done
gotta
enough
be
to
on
get in a
candy
van
cigarettes.
full of Tootsie Rolls because, hey, whatever.
It's free candy.
Sounds good.
So why did you decide, I want to do something about Robin?
So it's kind of an eclectic answer there because a lot of people who are involved, and of course, as Claire can as well tell you, are really excited to be part of this project. And
yes.
everyone who's gotten part of it, including our Batman, who is awesome, amazing.
He's
Bat
really
Dad.
Batman in
He's
real
our, he's our
life.
Bat Dad. Everyone's just so excited about it that it's been kicked around a lot, kind of a soccer ball of ideas, and kind of snowballed into bigger and bigger things. And eventually, we just knew everyone loved it so much and loved this character that isn't in the public's eye enough that we had to do more. We had to make more.
What do you mean he's not in the public's eye enough? Robin is pretty much in the public's eye.
Well,
No,
Dick
Grayson is.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Not
Tim Drake.
our Robin, not our Tim.
yeah.
You're
And
like,
he's
no,
such a
our Robin
phenomenal
is
character.
Tim
different.
Drake is,
He is the best
Tim Drake is
Robin.
such a
It's like earlier
phenomenal
when I said
Robin.
Adam West was the best Batman, we almost started a fight before the show.
Yeah, I said no.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's pretty much exactly like that
Get the
right now.
boxing gloves. Let's go, guys.
I also definitely think like so much of the, at least the big media around Batman doesn't focus so much on the family.
Yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
what makes the comics so amazing to read is the Bat family.
Yeah.
And so I think that we're really taking strides to focus on, Tim being a little brother to Dick Grayson and Barbara being a big sister to Stephanie and how the family works together and how their ties to each other makes them a stronger group.
See, it's interesting when you bring that up because one of the things I love is the family dynamic. Same thing with Fantastic Four, but when the studio made Fantastic Four, that all went out the window.
Yeah.
So when we look at these fan films like this, a lot of them are way better than what studios are trying to do.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Right. Because we're fans, because we care about the series. We grew up reading these comics, and we know these characters on a level that big Hollywood studios may or may not. I mean, I'm sure some of them do, but I mean, we all, to a degree, spent multiple sleepless nights as children reading these comics and loving these characters and loving what they stand for and the way that they talk about what the cape and the cowl represent to Gotham and how the sacrifices they make and how heroic they are.
Which in the writing is a big thing as well. A lot of times, especially with the most recent films we've seen, referencing Batman vs Superman and a few other DC films that have come out recently, and Marvel's had their fair share of issues, Thor, where
I like how I threw that.
Tell us how you really feel.
the writing doesn't have a clear, thorough line for the audience to follow. There's nothing to relate to when you see these characters. Like when Batman vs Superman happens, they have a line where he's like, "Well, there's 1% chance," and it's like, "But Batman, would you really say that? Is that something that I feel like the writing is trying to tell? What are you teaching me?" And I think what's great about our series, so shout out to our series, is we definitely are teaching our audience. Our first episode has a lot to do with what it means to be a hero outside of just being Batman's partner in crime, and Tim Drake kind of becoming his own Robin, his own superhero. and whatever that means.
I think with fan projects, one of the things that is a benefit to them is we're not making money off of it. We don't have to cater to whether or not we're getting all this money. Studios have to market. They have to hit these people. They have to bring people to fill the seats. We don't have that, so we can actually cater to the fans that are like us who spend time going, oh my God, there's no story in that. I'm pretty sure I just wasted 3 hours of my life because there's no story in there.
So Kim might be able to explain this better than I can because sometimes my words get mixed up. But you're not doing this for money, but it costs money to do this because you got a lot of legal things you have to run through, like filming locations.
And just like from the cosplay standpoint, like your actual costumes and getting them accurate, because you're not just gonna walk in something you bought at Walmart, so you have to actually make it look good.
And stand up to stunt work.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you probably have to have backup costumes in case one get ripped or something like that. I mean, that's just the fabric budget alone. Then you've got your craft services. You actually have to have food, water, all
They're
that.
like, there's
and
craft
then-
services?
Right.
I'm calling it craft services.
That's been us.
I'm making it sound like
That free water y'all offered us, that was our craft services, right? Like, that's what we're giving. That's what we give away too. So
I think on the costuming front, so many of the people involved, I mean, like I had already known Mika for a while through cosplay. So a lot of us have costuming experience, a lot of our actors, a lot of our crew. So, I mean, in some ways, we can be a little self-sufficient on that front.
Right, but the expensive part is like there's a drone shot in our prologue that everyone they love it. But to rent a drone, like you guys know, that's several $100s for a couple of hours.
Come on, from Toys R Us, they're like $50.
Oh
No.
yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Not
the
for this
low
quality.
HD ones.
Oh.
Yeah,
I won't
and you
accept
can,
that.
can't have the rest of the series. So then when it went to a drone shot, it would be very like low quality.
Yeah.
So all of the equipment that we're having to rent is incredibly expensive, along with the costumings and paying to rent these safe spaces where we can train for stunts, and just to have a stunt guy. When we film, we have to pay a guy to be there just for safety reasons and have all the equipment like the trampolines and the wires and all of that fun
And there's a
stuff.
bit of guerrilla filmmaking in there. There's
A lot.
There's
There's
a
a
bit
lot.
of oh hey, is that the Bat Cave or is that someone's wall that has bricks on it that we just poured water on? I don't know.
We're pretty good at the guerrilla filmmaking sometimes, so we completely understand that. But from the cosplay side, did you guys take any liberties with the outfits, or did you like, I like this version of this, not really that version of that one?
Yeah, we designed all the costumes ourselves, and we're actually remaking them, and they're all very expensive to make. So like the Batman.
So we're
costume
remaking them
alone.
because they're really expensive.
No, we're remaking
that's
them because
cosplay 101 though.
unfortunately they didn't really hold
Oh,
up
yeah.
to the stunt work the first time, because the first time to get the first episode out, because we're crowdfunding and we were using our first episode to crowdfund, so we had to do the first episode with absolutely no funding. So they were made very as efficiently as we could, and we wanted them to look good because we're fans and we just can't. We don't have it in us to mess up these characters. We love them too dearly. So we gave it our best, but after the filming the stunt scenes, they got worn out. So we have to.
Keeping them practical is hard for sure.
Yeah, Robin's bow staff got bent on a stunt guy's back, I think. He had padding on. But
Was it
Look,
being
we
at a
go
pipe
hard, go
cleaner?
home. That's how we
it's
play.
been
Go hard,
metal.
go home. When we're done with our actors, we're like, all right, it's time for you to be in the fight scene. They're like, but, and we're like, no, we're gonna actually like destroy you now because we don't need you anymore. Like, time to leave. That's how we do it.
Oh, that's your severance package. You get bruised,
Yeah.
beaten, and
I
bye-bye.
don't think I read that part in my contract.
She's like, hold
with
on.
but you already signed it.
So-
So,
I did already signed it.
From a legal standpoint, I'm sorry, you're
sorry.
I mean, as you know, Oracle, like, we obviously have to get to the point where, you know, you actually match the character, so legs
Yeah.
might have to be broken.
Okay.
As real as
Things
possible,
well,
guys.
We have discussed how our method
That got
acting
real.
and
Our method
That got real
acting.
real fast.
Oh yeah. Well, you know,
Escalated.
they what's really great is we'll go to cons very frequently, and they'll keep the costumes in the car, and there'll be times where she'll be like, I'm ready. If crime happens, I'm ready to get into the
Yes.
outfit.
I'm
and
waiting
fight
for the
crime.
day. Lord help me, if I'm driving to the convention and there's crime, I'm putting on my spoiler costume and I'm stopping it.
Are you gonna go spoil it? I mean, come on.
You're doing crime.
I went
Spoil.
there. I saw
I
the
like
opportunity.
that you did.
I took it.
It wouldn't be a Batman day if you didn't take the pun that was handed to you.
You're right,
Oh,
you're
there
right.
we
We started
go.
with 60s Batman.
Oh, I know.
Let's
Can
be
you guys
funny.
even do the Batsui?
Well,
Or
actually,
Batsusi? Uh-oh.
there's one character that we're going to have that we're not announcing yet, played by Ben Hamby from Awesome.
Who is
He's
awesome. He's been on our
wonderful.
show
Ben Hamby is
before.
Of course you know him. Ben
amazing
literally
person.
knows every human.
Everyone.
Everyone that I say Ben Hamby, they're like, oh, he's great. And I'm like, how do you even know him? Because he's
Barack
wonderful.
Obama's
But
calling
he's
him
playing a
over
character that's going to be a throwback to that 60s Batman, and we'll announce that later.
So, as we get back into looking, what is y'all's ultimate goal for Robin to be? Like a mini-series, something that just continues forever, or until the studio shut you down?
Well, DC is actually really receptive to fan films. Thank goodness. They've actually been known on occasion to screen fan films, as long as you're accurate and as long as you're not trying to monetize, which we're not. We don't want to make money. We just want to make this project the best we can. And any money that we make is not profit. It's just going right back to the project, just for equipment rentals and costuming and food for our cast when they're filming and stuff like that.
Craft services.
Craft services.
Here's your Ritz crackers. Enjoy.
We're gonna do one season. It's gonna have 10 episodes. We would like to, after the season, we are talking about our plans after that. We have really big plans after
Really
this.
big plans.
So it's definitely not gonna be over. It's just going to morph into bigger and better things with more of our favorite DC characters. And the bigger our budget grows, the more special effects and cool characters we can have in our series.
And noticeably, it's kind of a bit of a treasure trove to a certain degree that we're all kind of here together in our whole cast and crew, because ideally it did start out as, what Robin is and what we're making it to be. And after this, I mean, we're also connected now with all the people in our huge, our great Facebook group of crew and cast who they want to be part of more, and we want to make more now because of that. And it kind of gives us a bit of a creative outlet, which we're all pretty excited to use.
I love that. I love that because Kim can attest. That's the way we are here.
Yeah.
You come
I
and you
see
don't
it.
leave.
Yeah,
No, we're
that's
family.
how I ended up here. I was put on camera thinking I was just going to watch, get to understand it. Ended up doing a full interview and I haven't left.
She
Yeah.
was amazing. And you
Haven't gone home
find-
yet.
No,
No,
I sleep
sleep
up in the
here.
rafters with the lights.
Yeah,
Under
she-
here, there's a bed.
yeah,
Under the
you know,
desk.
we have
Oh, that's what
so
that
many
is.
stories, and you guys are starting to build this community. And it's only going to get stronger from here because our little crew here is pretty amazing. Like
Yes.
You
I
we
like
guys
have so
are
much fun,
amazing.
and one of our goals is to help people. That's why you need studio space. I'll see what I can do to get you here. I got you guys some studio space, and it was really hard not to geek out over Zordon.
I know!
We
That
did.
was
We
great.
cannot contain it. We tried really hard to be professional until they're like, as soon as we say cut, we're all like, oh my god.
So I
remember
love
that
you.
episode?
She was like, so did you beat Zordon? I was like, oh yeah, I
Wait,
just kind of walked away.
We screened episode 1, and I walked into the room, and I turned around, and I was like, it's Zordon.
He's
And then
wonderful.
Mika walked up and was like, we're here.
What was great is while we were doing the sequence with him actually and we were filming, everyone, of course, after every take was like, yes, please,
You're
this
so
is
good.
so great, thank you.
Thank you for letting us breathe your air.
And then he was fantastic, and I was like, all right, director face, like keeping composition, we're doing it. And afterwards, he gave me the Zordon voice for telling me like Rangers and Cayman, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm here, let's go. Hi.
He is the
you
nicest
need me to save
guy.
the world.
He actually he wanted to be here. I invited him super last minute. I invited him today, and he said that
I
he
would have lost it. He would have been
He
back
would
there,
have been
faded into the
here.
background like Zordon. We would have made his big giant face in the background.
But he's in LA right now.
Oh, but he couldn't fly back for us. That's how it is. So I want to go back into the costuming side of things because I know through Kimberly, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. You've made one set of costumes. How are you going to make them do more durable costumes? From one point to the next as you start going forward, like how do you even approach that? Like I don't even imagine how she makes some of the stuff she makes. Like it's got to be
Hopelessly.
functional.
Yeah, a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Like
Persistence. I mean,
it's
Sometimes
really
it's
a lot of
material
testing
choice.
it out.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Yeah,
real
that's
choice.
you have
exactly.
to, it's trial and error. You have to make the costume and hope that it lasts through what you do.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, you know where to fix.
It
Like,
breaks
it's
on set,
really-
you have a kit
figure
ready,
out
and you're
why
like,
it
well.
broke, and then you fix that break.
Exactly.
Make it,
Yeah.
break it, why it broke, fix it.
I mean, I
That's a
carry,
great
I
steps.
carry
Love
a
it.
needle thread,
That's
safety
everything.
pins, like all the things we can need to instantly fix something on set.
That
There's
would be
a
your
bag
superpower.
that
She
That's
carries
Shannon-
Shannon
Shannon
is a superhero.
It's true.
Shannon on set, like I'll be like I feel like I can think things, and she's like, I sense that Mika needs this, and she's so good.
I'll get
She just
really
walks by.
worried.
So good. She is
Pretty
an
much.
angel from heaven.
I'll like freak out and I'll have a moment where I'm like, I know I need something and I don't know what it is yet, but I'm on that verge of like connecting the dots and my eyes are going everywhere. And then I'll connect with Shannon and she'll be like, got it. And I'm like,
Her spidey senses.
It is.
Yes.
It's Spidey senses. I
It's
mean, that's
fantastic.
wrong universe. Sorry, guys. Like,
I think Shannon is Robin the Web Series like secret weapon.
oh yeah.
She is.
Oh, absolutely.
She is.
She fits in the
She's
little
greatness.
utility belt and she just pops out when needed.
yes,
That is
actually,
so
I am about
accurate.
that small. So
You are pretty pocket
She's
size.
standing on a chair right now.
I have on
Next
like
to our
4-inch
Batman.
heels to be this tall because I knew how tall this was, so I actually planned ahead.
Shannon's like, Hi guys.
Yeah, when we moved this, the day that we did filming in here, and we moved it, and I was like, so like guys, like
I thought you were in a chair sitting down.
no, that was just how tall I am. Like literally, guys, I would be right here. Like
super
without my
fun
shoe, I
size.
would be about right.
And in
right here.
comparison to Al and our Nightwing
Our
as well.
6'7"
Our Batman is super tiny.
Our Batman is a giant. We actually just did an event this weekend, and he was it was a Spider-Man day. Sorry again, Spider-Man always pops up there.
It's okay, Spider-Man rocks.
we
Do
love
you like
Spider-Man.
Marvel too?
Yes, we do. And so he was the Rhino, and
It's
he's
Thwip
in this
Thwip.
giant Rhino costume, and I'm Black Cat, and I feel like you can't tell the difference when I'm standing or sitting next to him because he's so big, and he's got the extra like padding to make him even bigger. And then there's me, just like we're bad guys, like both of us.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's awesome.
So, Kim, do you have any questions you want to ask real quick before I start this next one?
No, all of my costume questions are pretty much answered. That's usually where I come from.
Yeah, she's amazing at her cosplay set, and she's done some
She is
fantastic
amazing.
I'm
cosplay.
excited. I haven't.
We've met before at
Yes.
South by.
And I've loved you every time.
Oh, thanks. Glad to get to see you
And
again.
so,
I know, it's good to see you too.
you know, when you make these fan films and you go out there in costume, is it like I've only been to one convention in costume? It was a completely different experience.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's
wanted
so
to take a
good.
picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like,
Right,
hey,
and
you
you're
could
like,
also
work
watch
it.
me on TV. You know, you get that aspect.
I will say,
So,
like,
when you go to these conventions, how are people receiving this idea of Robin the web series?
I was like, did you have?
I had. Well, I'll
She's
come
completely
back.
starstruck
I'll
like
come
me.
back. Go for it. No, no,
They've been
I have a
incredibly
different.
receptive.
I have a different question to answer.
Okay.
Well, I was just. I will say, like, I've been a cosplayer for a long time, and like I've been an actor, and I actually like a couple people have been like, oh, hey, I really love your Oracle cosplay, and it's so weird for me because it's actually a very mentally different compartment in my head.
Oh, definitely.
Like, you know, I'm really not wearing a costume, and so like
That's
it
because
is.
that's who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Anyway. She is Oracle.
And she is spoiler. It's terrifying. But like so like as far as like being in costume at a convention as a cosplayer and being there as an actor, even in costume, I do feel they are very separate experiences.
It's interesting that you would put that way because my mind would say, you're playing in cosplay, you're playing as an actor, it's the same thing. But to hear that there's a different way to look at it, I would never have thought.
You delve so deep, especially if you're a method actor. Like, you know, when I've been in the wheelchair as Oracle, there have been moments where like okay, I'm done. Like I can get up out of the chair, and my brain actually can't connect the dots that I can actually stand up out of the wheelchair.
That's awesome.
It's disconnected. Like I'm not in a wheelchair as a prop. My jacket that I wear as Oracle isn't a costume piece. The wheelchair isn't a prop. It really is like the jacket I wear is Oracle, and the chair is part of Oracle. So it's a very different. I was surprised by how different an experience it was in my head.
Especially because these are usually things that are when you cosplay comparatively to acting wise, of course you have these things that are pre-written out for you. So when you go to cons, of course, you kind of get this bit of this freedom of like, oh well, you know, if I'm hanging out with Spidey over there, it's not a big deal. Crossing universes, who cares? But of course, when you're you know, whether it be on set or even if you go to a con with that actor in mind, there definitely is this idea of people are going to come up and ask questions, and sometimes you don't get that freedom as an actor to say certain things. We do have to be tight-lipped on some things that we specifically can't reveal until later, and there's definitely a different pretense to going into cons as far as like going in as a fan film series comparatively to say going in for cosplaying. Both great experiences. Everyone should go do it because
Absolutely.
it's great to be part of the community, great to get involved without a doubt, and hopefully we'll be at South by soon. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, actually, we are talking about that. But to answer your question, everyone's been really receptive. We've shown it at 2 cons now. We're showing it at the 3rd one. This weekend we'll be at Geek Fest, showing it in the Dome Room from 2 to 3 p.m. But everyone has been really nice about it. Very loud applause, which was comforting because it's always scary. Like when you make this, and it's like you see it from writing all the way to being a film, and like that's insane. From it going from being like these little ideas in your head that you talk about with your friends, your family, and now it's like a thing that other people can watch, and you're like watching it in front of this giant room full of like hundreds of people, and it feels very bare, and you're like, oh, you're like watching my baby like right now standing up for the first time. But everyone's been really nice, and afterwards we've had like Tim Drake super fans come up afterwards and tell us that they're really excited and they think that we're doing justice to the characters, and honestly, I think my favorite compliment, and Claire's, I know it's Claire's, is that they said that we all look like we walked right out of the comics, and they feel like we're doing justice to these characters that we love, and to us, like that means everything.
So, as the fan film community grows and becomes under way more scruples, and I can't even think of the words.
Scrutiny.
Scrutiny.
Our
You
writers
guys-
all said
That's good, that's
all
good.
the writers from Team Robin were like, oh, this is the word.
Here's called Gavinese. You just figure out what I say.
I'm with you there.
That's why I'm up here. I'm the
Yeah,
interpreter.
she's a
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah, that's
You did a
good.
good
That's good.
Were y'all nervous at all of something really bad happening from this, or were you just throwing caution to the wind, saying what happens happens?
Oh, well, I think the big part of that is no matter what project you go into, you kind of have to have a bit of a mindset of like, especially because I have a bit of a horror story and a quick one of those. So you'll see like a lens break, like because I'll operate camera as well and do a lot there. So we'll see like a lens break at a shoot, and then later that day, same shoot, that camera will fall out of the car and get ran over by 8 cars. And you're like, well, I guess it's good we got the footage when we did. Let's keep going, and that's the world of filmmaking. And I mean, on some level, everyone getting involved with that kind of knows that you never know what's going to happen. You never know if a stunt might go a bad way. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully a lot of practice goes into making sure those things don't happen. But when it comes down to it, I mean, you want to make it look as good as possible, and that makes, you know, sacrificing a bit of precaution to a certain degree. I mean, practice as much as you can, but when you get up there, you want to go as hard as possible. You want to sell it for sure.
And it's different because you're not doing something original. You're doing something that someone else owns.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And, you know, like we had talked about earlier, Star Trek released that ridiculous list of rules. And I
Yep.
think more studios and properties are going to come because they're already starting to go after the artists at comic conventions
Yep.
and all those other things. And fan films are just kind of sitting there in this weird place that they don't really know what to do with. So I would be a little afraid to jump in there
Oh, yeah.
first.
Definitely. We did months and months of research before we started signing actors on, and there are things that you have to do, but as long as you follow a certain set of rules, you are legally allowed to do it as long as you are very cautious about the way that you do it. But we have been incredibly careful. We've spoken to lawyers. We've, you know, like I said, done a ton of research on copyright laws
Was
and
one of
stuff
them
like
Harvey
that.
Dent?
Oh, yes. You know, strangely enough, I thought he had something else to say, but with a different face. I was a little confused.
Where did you go?
Right?
2 sides to every story.
Right? So
know.
it's interesting to hear you guys tackling this. I can't wait to see what comes. But who is the one villain you cannot wait to put in this series?
Oh, can
I'm
I
gonna
say?
ask each
Can
of
I
you.
say?
Oh, yeah, each
okay.
of us. Yeah,
I have to say my dad, the Clue Master, who's played by Zordon from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV show, because he's a really cool villain from the comics. There are times in
There's
the
a
comics.
reason why she called spoiler here.
There are times in the comics where he's like controlling all of the bad guys and controlling Batman and Robin at the same time because he's really clever and he's really cool and he's too underrated. So that's my favorite that I'm excited about.
I would actually say Two-Face just because of Tim Drake and Two-Face. Two-Face hates Robin, and it's not showcased enough in the comics or in the versions of the movies. So
Remember, we're not announcing our main villains.
yes, we can't talk
No.
about any
Oops.
of
There's
that.
some that we're not announcing.
Dreamless.
Just
Oh, Dreamless. Okay.
Just who we want. Just who we
Yes,
want. Yeah, just who we
Dreamless.
want.
So you can't say.
Next
Of
up,
course.
Oracle.
Not the Joker.
No, not the Joker. Let's just not the Joker. One of the coolest things that I think that we've been doing is that we're capturing a lot of villains that have made it into maybe like the Arkham games, but not into main media. And there's so many good villains in Batman. I know we jokingly talked about Calendar Man because
Oh, no. That's fantastic.
Someone's cheering off camera, and I'm like,
The Penny Plunderer. He'll be like our main villain is the Penny Plunderer.
That's fantastic.
And Kite Man.
I think yes.
So, a little bit of a two answer for me on this one because I definitely would like to, and again, this comes from seeing characters get a little more attention that haven't gotten attention, say like Black Mask, who, I mean, that'd be a great one.
oh my gosh.
yes.
And then, secondly, and strangely enough, I do find myself kind of going this route because I think Red Hood did it, the animated film did it right.
Yes.
I don't think the
That was
game
my
did it right.
The animated film is amazing.
Yeah.
All the
Yes.
DC animated
Yes.
films are
DC
amazing.
animated films
animated,
are
except for Justice League War, which was trash.
We don't talk about it.
Sorry, oof. That movie makes me real mad.
started.
But
So direct.
an idea, a definite, a really cool concept of having, because I think Jason as a Robin and what he represents was touched up quite well in the animated series, and of course been touched up in certain areas. But I really would like to see the juxtaposition between a Robin who has gone down this path like Tim Drake,
Yeah.
separately from ever touching with Dick Grayson's Robin to Nightwing. Because I think Tim Drake's Robin is such a good counter to Jason and what he becomes, and this idea of like Tim's separating himself. He wants to eventually becomes Red Robin, and eventually has his things that he does. But seeing what Jason does instead, and almost kind of being tempted by this kind of like dark side. This like, yeah, I did it my own way, and you know what? It's pretty horrible, but like, here's the benefits. And I'd love to be able to persuade an audience as to why Jason may be right, and then crash it down on them and show them at the end like this is clearly why he's flawed.
Especially in something focusing on the family, the fact that Jason is one of their own is one of what makes him such a powerful.
And it
Heartbreaking.
played so much into Tim's decision in general. Like when he started out as Robin and everything he did, he focused so much on Jason and what Jason did and what Jason did. So it would be so great.
And it had such a huge effect on Batman too.
I do have to amend my answer a little bit. As a Tim Drake fan, Ray Shogul.
Oh yes,
Because Ray's just so creepy. He has a creepy fixation with Tim. So for Tim in particular, Ray Shogul.
So that's been our talk with team.
Writers look at each other like.
They're all right. So we've been talking with the Robin fan film crew, talking about fan films and their series.
I think I like this talk of the apocalypse. This makes me amused.
All right.
Mostly, hold on.
We're almost out of time, so
I
we
know.
gotta wrap this up. Be quick.
So my thing is I love people who tell me about the end of the world because I have literally heard about the end of the world since 1901 when I first read about the Carolina.
You weren't alive in 1901.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Yes. Over here. So in 1901, there was the Carolina end of the world cult. Literally, in North Carolina, this cult, these people said the end of the world was going to happen in 1901.
My home state.
Right. Guess what? I'm still standing here. I'm standing right here, and the end of the world did happen.
All those tabloids do it every week.